just thought about it. 2016, 2017, you saw a lot of you've seen a few of the ex-Falcon football players running around teaching the team. The minute they started banning the ex-players, the Falcons started playing terrible. Yeah. Which leads to the question was, how much of an asshole was Dan Quinn really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just talking about as far as the culture of the team. Is this one of the major reasons why the team was kind of disconnected in a way? Because one thing I learned is once you disconnect yourself from the history of where you at, the energy is off. It's not a coincidence that you was working with Chuck Smith and then you bring in a Dwight Freeney and Vic Beasley leading the league in sacks. The minute you ban one guy and the second you cut the other guy, Vic Beasley going back to 5 sacks. You got Chuck Smith out here working with pass rushers. Grady Jarrett. Do a little thing with Jonathan Babineau. Chuck Smith ain't allowed. You bring it.
And then you allow Brian Cox. You just fired Brian Cox. Said he was too difficult.
You fired Brian Cox, the same Brian Cox that put Rasheed Hageman in check.
Rasheed, yeah.
This is a problem where the ego of certain guys is detrimental to the cause. And Dan Quinn, like I said, a lot of us didn't pay attention to it because he doesn't really say much, and all his post-game interviews and conferences all robotic and sound the exact same.
We're going to play hard as hell. We're
playing mad. I'm like, where?
We're fighting. We're going to fight. We're going to be tough.
And all at this same time, he was sucking the energy out of this team. And we didn't even see it. And it really came into fruition for this team after that Super Bowl.
Hey, Styles, you just brought up something.
I
thought about it, but the ego on Dan Quinn is what got us to this point. The ego, Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff got us. He was having an internal fight with Thomas Dimitroff, and those guys were having a fight back and forth. But if you look at why the Falcons had their success, it's because they had a multitude of guys on the offensive side of the ball and the defense side of the ball that had experience. Once those guys left, that's when you start to see the decline in play. Because on the defense side of the ball, we didn't have issues getting sacks early. We got after the quarterback. We got sacks. The problem is when you got rid of Marco Emmanuel, like every on the defense side of the ball, it was always a guy that he got rid of. For the very first moment that he even got here, he fired somebody. From the very first, the year he had success, he fired the guy. And then Richie. So he's been firing guys and blaming everybody else for the mishaps from the very beginning. We go to the Super Bowl. How the hell you get to the Super Bowl to that point? Every year, Dan Quinn fired somebody on his staff. Everybody was always, for whatever reason, whether it's the secondary guy, the linebacker coach, the defensive line coach, the defensive coordinator, somebody got fired every year. And I'm not talking about somebody left. Somebody got fired. So all this stuff was right in our face. We knew who was we know who was the real guy who was, responsible for the lack of guys on the defensive side of the ball, especially the defensive line. It's all Dan Quinn.